Hey there, inner peacemaker. Cassandra Kimball here with an episode for busy giving parents. Today's Christ-centered self-help tool comes in part from the book of Daniel, and this is episode 30, three things that help me so I don't feel out of control with sugar during the holidays. One summer, the planets aligned so perfectly because we had three family gatherings during that summer, back to back to back, and two of them were family reunions. It was amazing. It was just awesome how they all lined up so perfectly. So it was so nice. We didn't have to like travel across the state to one and then have to go back for a few weeks. And it just was so nice. They were back to back to back. So there were lots of people, there were lots of fun, there were lots of big emotions, and there was lots of food, including treats. I remember when I got home from that trip that I weighed myself on the scale the following morning, and the scale showed that my body had gained 10 pounds. And for me at that time, my thoughts, right, because our feelings come from our thoughts, my thoughts made this number feel like that is a big deal, right? This 10 pounds heavier, it felt like a big deal. But there was a part of me, I'm like, I still have hope. Like I slowly lost a certain amount of weight. Like I've over a few years, I slowly lost 20 pounds. So I'm like, I can lose this in no time. I got this. I still felt a little hopeful. So I was a little surprised by how much I gained, but I'm like, I can do this. But I was surprised at I think it was a few weeks later, I was surprised at a feeling that came up during like a walk outside. I was walking outside by myself and like I like power walking with my arms. My arm brushed against my side a little bit and it kind of brushed up against like this little love handle that was it felt bigger than before my trip, right? Like it just a little bit more stuck out on there. And immediately I felt anger inside of me. I was so surprised that this emotion was coming up. Right? Like it on the scale a few weeks before that, right? I was like a little disappointed, a little like, but I'm still a little hopeful. It's kind of a more mellow feeling. But this was like a zinging anger. Like it like came right in and I was so mad. I was mad at myself. To um I was mad that this was happening, that I had let myself go. I was really mad. And it's interesting because I allow myself to internally feel whatever I'm feeling because I believe emotions are gifts. I've come to believe that. And I let myself like get home and have like a quiet moment to myself before I would go back to helping the children. So I was like, I just need a moment for my to myself for just a moment. And so I was still, right? To be still is just like to humbly invite God's light and love to be with us in that moment of trying to look at this emotion, this anger. Um, And I purposely want God's light and love in there because, right, if you just imagine like his light is gonna just be able to see the emotion better. And then can you just imagine like to put God's love in the room? It's just gonna be so kind to that emotion, right? So like we intentionally are including God's light and love as we prayerfully are like, can you please God be with me while I'm trying to figure out this emotion? Right? So then we just use the prompt like, I wonder why I'm feeling angry. And I've noticed for my big emotions, they usually kind of snap back pretty quick. And I compassionately just let them have it. I let them get it all out. So I'm very kind now to my emotions. And I heard things like, I'll tell you why I'm angry. It took me a couple years to slowly lose the weight I did. And now half of it came back in about a week. It's hard on my body with this extra weight. I hate it. I'm so mad. I didn't take better care of myself or set better limits or eat better or control myself better. I'm so mad that it didn't that it's not coming off faster, right? Like at this time when I was going through this healthy emotion work, it had been a few weeks, right? And it just in my head, I'm like, oh, I'll lose it in a few weeks. It'll be good. So that thought was, I'm so mad it isn't coming off faster, right? I'm like, I worked so hard. I wish I didn't comfort my awkward parts of me with food and sugar. So I make sure to hear all of it. I make sure to hear all of the anger. What else is in there, right? And when nothing else comes, like I can then show some more love, right? Because it's loving to just listen. And now we want to be loving like if friend just told you all that, right? Because anger is now a friend of mine, right? Anger, all the different emotions are friends of mine. So I just let that friend vent. And now I'm saying, I could say something like, I'm so sorry, anger. That would be hard to feel that way. I'm so sorry for the uncomfortable moments at your family gatherings. I'm sorry that was hard for you. And then I like to add in some genuine thank yous because this emotion has a gift for you that you have to kind of work through and figure out. Sometimes I can know fast, like, okay, this is definitely a gift for this reason. Sometimes I have to kind of dig a little bit to figure it out. Um, so I kind of reflect a little like, what is good about anger? And I'm like, I don't want to feel angry. So I had to think for a moment and say something like, I'm so grateful that you, anger, so grateful you care about all the effort and work I did to take care of my body the last couple of years. It was a lot of work. It was like hours of reading self-help books and experimenting with foods that could like nourish my body better. And I took a course online that like helped me know how to feel more peace around food. And so it was a lot of work. So I'm like, wow, that part of me cares about all my hard work. If it didn't show up, maybe I just like give up and just forget about all about it. Or I just felt really, really proud of anger for like caring about all my effort. That felt really kind, nice about anger. And I don't know about you, dear person listening to this episode, but when I do this step in healthy emotional work, I feel a very real amount of this like honoring kind of love. Like it's not just love, it's like this, I feel so much honor, that kind of love. Like it's a certain level of respect for that emotion. Instead of like what I did for years was just like, just don't feel angry or just get over it or be more loving. That's what I'd say to myself, right? Like just be more loving and then you won't feel that way. It just it feels so much kinder and more real to me and kinder to my heart to just allow myself to process any emotion that comes up rather than try not to feel them. It just doesn't feel healthy to me and it felt belittling and I felt guilt for feeling feelings. It just did not work for me. Maybe it does for you, but I tried that for years and it didn't feel good. So I just want to know for myself that I now love respecting my emotions. I don't act them out in big ways, right? Like I felt anger, I just like went in my room and processed it in a healthy way. I hope this can support you too, though. And the last step in the healthy emotion work that I do is we kind of brainstorm like one action step or something to support that emotion, right? So we're taking care of anger right now. It can be like a nourishing thought that we want to think, or it can be a step to heal that emotion, or sometimes I just want to allow myself to feel it a little bit longer. Actually, that's okay with me too, is sometimes I just want to sit with anger a little longer. Like you can be a little angry, right? So I just allow myself if I need that. I felt ready at that time. Like I heard it all out. I felt like I was ready to support that emotion by moving forward a bit. So I wondered if I could support that by thinking, I'm grateful for food, right? I don't want to be angry towards food or sugar. I've gone through seasons of that too, where I was just mad at everything that I was putting in my mouth. And so I can think maybe something like, I'm grateful for food and sugar that was able to comfort me during that time, during those family gatherings. Perhaps I can find another way or another idea of something to turn to instead of always turning to sugar when I feel awkward in social settings. Because I noticed, right, when I was working through it, that that was one of the reasons I kept turning to it. I kept turning to sugar when I felt really awkward. I'm like, I'm just going to go eat some more food. So, so I'm grateful to think through that. I'm like, I'm so grateful this is all coming up so I can learn some healthier ways of ideas of things I can turn to instead of always turning to food. Because I think once in a while it's okay, but I don't want that to be my 99% all the time go to that. So I like that I could thank food for being there, right? Like I'm just being grateful for food. I'm thankful for Inger. I was realizing that, like what my body does and doesn't need. And like I gained 10 pounds in a week. And like that kind of seems to me that my body doesn't need sugar that much in a week, right? It's just a little too hard on it. So see how just like loving and kindness is. I just love healthy emotion work. And and I want to share with you some other ideas that have helped me. So healthy emotion work is a huge one for me. And I've used some of these different ideas that I'm going to share with you though, in addition to healthy emotion work. I've used them yeah, all three this holiday season actually. And so I have more moments to practice because I have family gatherings coming up. Um, but yeah, I've just been practicing and it just feels so fun to me. And that's what I want. I want these ideas to just have like a playful energy and they're fun. And if it's not fun for you, you don't have to do it. I'm not offended. I hope it can support you. I hope there's something that you can walk away from that can help you. Because I don't like feeling like sugar's in control of me. And I don't like gaining 10 pounds over a holiday or a gathering. And so again, I hope these can help you. I have experimented and these are kind of fun. Okay, so one idea comes from my grandfather on my mom's side. My mom shared that for a time he said, I just need 3 bites of a dessert. And at first I was like, 3 bites, that's nothing. I could pack away easily without batting an eyelash. Like I just like could shove down 7 Chips Ahoy without even thinking twice about it. I know I'm being very honest and open with you. I have had a sugar addiction. I know I have in my life, and it was very real. And I've had times where I ate treats before, during, and after some meals. And that's being very open with you now. And it's interesting. I'm feeling slightly embarrassed to say that out loud. And that's interesting because I've shared this story a number of times, but yeah, that's a part of my journey that I've gone through, and I'm so grateful that I could learn from those things. And I hope that some of these ideas help you because they've helped me. So just wanted to share these with you. Okay, so my grandpa's idea of taking 3 bites. Um, at first I was like, no way, this doesn't sound fun. Remember, I like ideas that sound fun. So I remember thinking at one time, like, well, I've been wanting to put more water in my body. And so I was like, maybe I could try. I like adding things in. I am very much like an add things in girl. I love adding in good habits and things. So I'm like, okay, I want more water. What about, um, this was in like the thick of my sugar addiction. So I experimented. I'm like, what if I drink a tall glass of water and then do my grandpa's thing of 3 bites of a treat? And sometimes like I really, really wanted more of that treat. Like 3 bites, that's nothing, right? I told you. And then other times I was so full from that tall glass of water that sometimes I didn't even finish the water. I'm like, hey, and when I finish that, then I can have my treat. And it doesn't sound like it's something that really will help, but I just want you, if you're skeptical, don't worry. You are welcome to try it if you want. It has really, really, really helped me. So a tall glass of water, then you can have your 3 bites. And then if you want more, if you're like, I really, really want more, I just tell myself, yeah, sure, you can totally have more. You just need another drink of water, another glass, not a drink, another glass of water. To my brain, that was so addicted to sugar, it really helped me to not just say no, just for me personally, because I wanted it to be a fun journey. I didn't want it to be like, this is torture. So for me, all right, we're all different, but rather to think, I can have it. I just need a little water first. It worked a little bit of my patience and it just really helped because water is very filling. And so that was very calming for my brain instead of like, don't even think about it. Like it just was so calming for my brain to be like, just need some water and then you can have it. So 3 bites, that's one of my ideas. and you can have a tall glass of water before those three bites. So that's one idea. Another idea is to find something that is sweet but more nourishing to take in its place, right? I told you I love adding things in. So if so I like having a plan instead of like, okay, you just can't have anything. Because I used to, for years, I had a treat um like after dinner or a treat after lunch. And um so I'm working on a mix of including this one thing. It's a mix of three things. I love it. It took me a little while. I've experimented with different flavors, but I have some vanilla Greek yogurt and some blueberries with some granola. So it's a little yogurt parfait, right? And for me, it just hits the right spots and it fills me even more, right? Because I'm getting that protein, I'm getting the fiber, I'm getting a little more grains, and it feels so good. And I don't feel that like longing, like, oh my gosh, I'm missing out, or yes, but it's not Chips Ahoy cookies, or, like that just really helps me to have something in place of it. It's already planned out. I already have it in the fridge. I already know it's already my plan. So when I have a plan like that, that is really helpful to me. Um, and sometimes during like these holiday seasons, like it's Christmas time, I made these mint candies that are so good. And I could have easily in the past just downed those so many, but I still do my three bites. And then um, sometimes I'll be like, okay, now it's time for my yogurt. And it fills me up completely, right? So again, I know some people love and feel like we should take out sugar in your life. And if that feels right to you, isn't it a beautiful thing? Like we get to choose what would be the best thing for us. I know I had a friend at a Release Site activity tell me that she feels that that's the right path for her. I'm like cheering her on because that is something that she feels is right for her. I have experimented and I haven't tried doing that in a long time, but I don't feel in my heart at this season of my life that that's the right path for me. But it could be. It could be later on. But right now, I don't feel that way. And I'm grateful that I can be my own unique person and that I can just try to stay close to the spirit and know, like, if that's ever part of my journey, then I'm willing to do it. Just right now, it feels okay to just find a little bit more of a balance. Um, okay, so we've talked about healthy emotion work can help you when you keep wanting to turn to treats to comfort you. Right? We want to help those big emotions like anger, right? I was feeling anger. We just want them to be seen and heard and help them out what's going on inside. My second idea was to experiment. I spelled it wrong, so it's hard for me to say it when it's spelled wrong. Experiment to see if like the tall glass of water and the three bites trick works for you and your heart. It might not, but it might help you too. I know it helps me. I love that trick. So, another idea I shared was to think of something to add in, right? The water isn't adding in too, but like I have added in like the yogurt parfaits or just they're doing it for me. And I didn't share this earlier, but another thing I add in is like fruit at dinner. That to me just really has helped. After dinner, like, so I put it on the table so that after dinner, when I'm already starting to crave it from like years of that habit, that I'm like, oh, here's my sugary thing right here. And it's natural sugar right from the fruit. And it fills me in a good way. So, um, yeah, I just invite you to consider doing maybe one of these things, or if something else came to mind. I hope the spirit's always in my episodes that you can, if the spirit teaches you something else that not even with something I say, that's probably the even better, I think, idea for you. So, um, I was thinking, I just wanted to end with this thought from the book of Daniel because I think it's just really encouraging. Um, so perhaps if we think of the story of Daniel, when Daniel was offered certain foods, and like that was specific to him and his time and everything. So we don't need to like go into that kind of stuff. I just want you to think about the idea. So it says in Daniel 1:8, it says, but Daniel proposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with, and he talks about certain foods. But so I'm tapping my chest right now. Like you're proposing something in your heart, right? This is something that you feel is right for you. Just like my friend feels like she should take sugar completely out of her life. That's between you and God, right? It's so wonderful that we are unique and different that way. So, but Daniel proposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with such and such things. So I love that it goes on. Daniel saying, he's like, prove thy servants. So he's talking to like the servant that's in there. He's like, I beseech thee, give us 10 days and let them give us these certain foods to eat and certain drinks to drink. He says, then let our countenances be looked upon with thy countenance and the countenance of the young men that do eat these other foods. And I just love if you go down to the end of the chapter, it says in verse 20, so they stood before the king, and then in the next verse it says, in all matters of wisdom and understanding that the king acquired of them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and astrologers that were in all his realm. Right? So, one takeaway from me for this is to just prayerfully figure out if God has any um, specific ideas that come to your heart. Right? I'm tapping my chest again, like into your heart and into your mind about sugar or another item. I know I'm talking a lot about sugar because that was my vice for a long time. But but another item that maybe you be struggling with, maybe, and I love that our journeys we get to do it with God. And I know that God cares about you. He cares about your body. I really believe that. I hope something today helps you in your desire to not let sugar or another item or substance rule over you. I know nothing is impossible with God. And so whatever you're struggling with, I really believe that nothing is impossible or too hard for God to deal with or handle. So I encourage you to include him in your journey. I've tried both ways. I've done self-care without God and I've done it with him. And I'm just saying it is so much more fun with him. So, and so that's the end of the episode. I just want to end by letting you know that I love supporting parents' efforts to turn away from vices and instead help them learn how to turn to Christ-centered self-care habits. I'm going to be creating a Facebook page soon that supports that even more. And if I can ever support you in that way, you can check out creobalance.com for more support there. So you're wonderful. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you next week.